Yeah, so here we go again. Hi there, I'm Ben, I'm autistic. This is my substitute for psychotherapy. I call it solo therapy. I drink tea and talk about life and all. It's been a moment since I've done the last, this time for reals. I say it's been a moment quite a lot in the beginning of these, but it's been over a quarter year, so legitimate moment, you know. Today's tea we'll be having is Sencha Hahu. Ta-da! From Make Tea Not War, I got it for the 5th anniversary of the tea joint, so yay. And not too long ago I acquired a new Kyoso teapot, which is glazed so I can use it in good faith for any other teas other than the main one I drink, which is what I use an unglazed Kyoso for. Because I'm snobbish with tea. Haha. There you go, that's what it looked like. Pretty dark. I'm on the road, and I will be for quite a while, which is something I'm quite looking forward to. This work road trip. I mean, I'm here at not even noon, about 11 a.m. I believe it is. Having tea in the forest, so it's not like I can complain, you know. We're doing home office employees of a company, of several companies. I'm not quite sure, but still doesn't matter. It's minor offices is all I'm concerned with. That have 10 to 20 appliances to pop. Perhaps I'll have some with less than 10. It's only the first day, so I don't actually know yet. But thus far it have worked out. I've managed to realise a couple of appointments thus far. It's fun, you know. Get to drive around a lot. I mean, I've done 800k, 0.8 megameters in the past 24 hours, which is pretty solid, you know. I mean, don't cost me, well, cost me a little, but I'm getting mileage back from my work, so I wouldn't mind, you know. So, yeah. I've even grown a beard since I last done this, I think. I'm not sure if I had a beard last time or this much a beard. Life go on. I've parted ways with Film Club that was an organising party off for over 2 years. It's just not headed a way in which I want to support it. If I want a political circle jerk, I can go anywhere else in the capital of the country. I don't have to go to a place that masquerades as Film Club. Not that we're politically disaligned, we are aligned, but I just don't want reinforcement circle jerks. You know. Life is good. I've set up a countertop in my kitchen. I reckon in future I might end up doing these, whatever this is, there. Just because now I have a kitchen. Well, it's a work in progress, but still. Now I have a countertop in my kitchen. That's something I'm really rather happy with. Spent about $400 total. But for that is 3 meters of countertop. Or about square meter and a half, which is not that much if you say it that way. Well, under constructive construction lumber. And I'll be recycling the heavy duty shelving I had in my kitchen beforehand, because I can. And it's cheap. By just cutting up the long limbs of the heavy duty shelving and riveting it at different lengths. I got the ability. Oh, actually, let me show you this. There we go. Beautiful liquid, Senchaharu. Apologies for the road noise in the background if I haven't said so already, but I'm next to a road. Not far from where the next client is, just because I reckoned I might as well do the best part of the hour's driving beforehand. So I got less variability with traffic and so on. One woods road over, the plodder sitting watching for people speeding. So theoretically I'm not allowed here, but I don't think anyone gives a shit. So you know how it is. I mean, that's also representative, that statement, of how I think about speeding these days. Back to the age-old topic, that is, speeding. Ashtray, and I might be smoking at the moment. The age-old topic of speeding. I do it now, but I do it less so than others. With the logic of, hey, theoretically a limit means you aren't supposed to go over, but if the cultural norm is, or haveth become 10 to 20 over, I might as well do 9 to 17 over. I'm not doing 20 over because that's dangerous territory. Theoretically, of course, there still is measuring tolerances and so, but I'd rather use those for measuring tolerance. But with 20 over, I'd lose my license for a month, which I can't risk because I'm kind of dependent on my license for life and work. You know, I mean, here I am road tripping for work, so before yesterday, I hadn't had this tea in quite a while. Yesterday night, I had a brew. I'd forgotten how good it was, man. Just because now I finally have this Kyoso, which is glazed, as you can see, by reflecting the phone. There we go. Which means it's not open porous ceramics, so the flavour doesn't get embedded in the Kyoso, in the teapot. Which means I can actually use it for several teas, which I will be doing. And I was split about which tea set to take, and then I figured, fuck it, I might as well take this one. Only problem is, now I only got 70 more grams of tea. The other tea I got with me is Sencha Nakatani. Sencha from the house of Nakatani. Actually, I might as well show you the box. I got it right here. Of course I do. Ironically enough, this is the other end of the car as to where we had this in the past, before I started with tea. In the past was just over there. That's that window I can see up there. There we go. That's going to be the next tea I have, Sencha Nagatani. Focus you far. And then I might be out. Good news is I'm back for a couple of days on my home turf in about 3 weeks' time. Which means I can go by the tea joint and get more then, or get some more from at home, because I do have other teas at home that I've been meaning to drink for a long time, just haven't gotten around to because I hadn't had the Kyoso. Now I have the Kyoso, so I might as well. And I don't even think they spoiled yet, so that's pretty solid, you know. Driving, yesterday I'd driven down here, near Austria in Bavaria. I do have to say it was pretty smooth driving until I got to the 2-lane Autobahn motorway. I guess that's precisely a dual carriageway instead of triple carriageway. Where people started cutting off real hard. They didn't check their mirrors or nothing because I had to brake for a delta of about 70 kph, which, I mean, what is that? More than 20 meters per second. I mean, that's more than 3 car lengths of this car per second on several counts because people just pulled out. I mean, I understand it's a contraceptive, but it's not good to be doing by car driving, you know. Then again, I went even that fast. I guess I was fast for them. Don't excuse them not looking. It's not like I'm going 300 kph and you can't see me in your mirrors and I'm there already. I'm only going 150 when I do. And still these twats with 80 kph pull out into the left lane. I have actually in the past on several counts considered making short videos of why we check the mirrors before pulling out. Why we drive on the right. In which case, right would be just the extreme side of the road. Malaysia, England, etc. It would be the left. But why, when we're not overtaking, we are not in overtaking lanes? Then again, I'm not too committed to the idea of doing videos anymore. I mean, I haven't done this here in about 100 days now. Haven't done any other videos. I have one project permanently on ice with a friend musician of mine, collaboration kind of thing. They don't mind it being on ice because they're flexible and they don't even want me to shelve it permanently to kill it. They're happy with remaining on ice, but realistically I think it's de facto killed because I don't think I'll do anything with it anytime soon, you know. Nah. I am going to be unvolunteered from project soon enough. I agreed to do a short video clip thing, animation for a friend. Beginning of the year. By April, I'd given them the deadline of, hey, if you haven't gotten a briefing to me by the 21st of June, I'm out because I can't be committed permanently for a project that's in limbo. And I believe they are not going to be doing it because they now have, less than 2 weeks' time. And I haven't heard from them, so I guess that's something I'll be out of. Luckily enough. Yeah, you know, it's just kind of fancy. I got premium tobacco, smoking kills, but it's the fancy stuff. Golden Virginia, there we go. Oh, there we go. That's more legible. It's expensive tobacco, but it's definitely worth it. Don't smoke, smoking kills. But if you do smoke, this is the right stuff to be smoking if you're smoking tobacco. And I don't smoke anything but tobacco because I like driving in my car way too much. It's not quite a Jaguar, but it's a pretty nice car, you know. I mean, come on, I can sit in and have tea and still have a couple of weeks worth of clothes, loads of spare multi-sockets, two appliance testing devices, fuck ton of everything really. I mean, I got 2 jugs of washer fluid, for fuck's sake, you know, so that's pretty solid. Yesterday was my first experience checking into a hotel, I guess. Funny how that is. I'm 26 years of age. And yesterday was the first time I checked into a hotel by myself, and that went smoothly. We'll do again tonight, different hotel tonight. And then tomorrow and the day after will be the same one. Because day after tomorrow I ain't got no work. But it's not worth driving anywhere. Because this is far end from anywhere I know anyone in Berlin. In Berlin, exactly, in Germany. So I'll just be hanging about, drinking tea, who knows, maybe do another therapy. Explore the city I'll be in, because why not? And then on Friday, today's Tuesday by the way, for reference. Then on Friday I got one appointment and then this weekend. Which is funny, I guess, but in the end of the day, we're doing it because why not, you know? And I don't mind, I'm paid holiday practically. I mean, I do a bit of work here and there, but thus far I've done not even an hour's work today, and the day's half over already, the working day that is. Earlier, the customer did ask me, ooh, I've been doing this for 15 years and never anyone have checked my appliances, and I had to explain to them, well, I didn't have to, but I felt I wanted to explain it to them and they didn't seem to mind, that they too have the right to be secure in life and that their life shouldn't be threatened by their employer, which it isn't because I'm there, and that they know themselves they are not qualified to guesstimate the safety of appliances. Which was interesting enough because that person did actually have one non-compliant appliance, too small a cross-section on the cable of a multi-socket. Funny how that works, you know. Oh, my leg's fallen asleep, so I got to twist a bit. There we go. Car's too big, my legs are inside. And that don't work out because my feet ain't got no blood flow, so now I'm hanging them out the back. Yeah, but life's pretty nice. Next week I'll be doing the same as I am this week. Yesterday was bank holiday, which is why I didn't do nothing yesterday besides drive down here. And the week after, I actually got a week in one place and doing proper testing. Not more driving than testing, but more testing than driving. Which is going to be a fun one, just because it gives a bit of change of scenery and it make me appreciate this here more. If I had this straight for 5 weeks, I don't think I'd appreciate it as much in the 4th week as if I got this for 2 weeks and then for another 3. So might as well, you know, get around. Surprisingly peaceful when there's no traffic here. I guess it is sticks after all. It is a managed forest and it's a young forest. But, I mean, you can see some there. With the social club I've been visiting, I have visited every opportunity I've gotten thus far. I will be missing out on the summer barbecue due to being on the road. But work first and all, you know. I reckon by this time next year I may well be a member of that social club, just because I can. And I believe it's for my betterment. And I believe I'm welcome. And I also get along with all the other people of the social club. There is some I have opinionated differences with, but we both agree that they are just opinions. And that both are entitled to their own opinions. So, you know, good enough for me. Currently doing the second brew. I might just pour it in front of the camera again because it looks fancy. Oh, I set a new VMAX with this car. In the past it's been 176 kph. Now it's 177 kph. Which translated into miles is what? About ton? About 100 mile an hour? Solid enough, you know, a bit more than 100 mile an hour maybe. I'm doing the conversion in my head, so don't quote me on it. It should be about a ton. Which you can't do legally in most of Earth, but here you can. And particularly here in Bavaria, it appears you can in a lot of places. Then again, they are one of the Länder of Germany that is friendly towards cars because it's a majority of their economy, as it is of the overall country. I believe 5 to 10% of GDP are just vehicular, and probably another 20% of GDP support those 10%. So it's about half our economy at least, you know, indirectly. Which is pretty interesting if you think of it. Then again, Donald don't understand why we don't import many American cars. Whereas they import a lot of German cars. Funny how that works, you know. This is not a political therapy thing, but it's just one thing I want to mention is I am really rather concerned for anyone, particularly autistic, but in general anyone, living in the US of A. I don't draw these parallel lines lightly, but there is a lot of alignment in what's happening over there with what happened here in the whereabouts of 85 years ago, which is not so great because that is a time we do not talk about. Don't mention the war. The one episode that was never broadcast in Germany, and I missed pouring on camera the tea because my brew's done and I've already poured it. I am planning holidays together with my sister later in the year. Go in England, visit friends and family, probably about 2 weeks, which is what I'm putting quite a chunk of my paycheck aside for, just because I agreed. Well, I didn't agree. I initiated that I'd pay the diesel and ferry to get there. It's going to cost a decent chunk of dosh, but it's worth it. I mean, I currently got a Porter Studio here, Porter Studio 464 by Tascam, which is going over there because we don't got a use for it. A friend over there is willing to digitize the mastering tapes for me dad and their music, so that's going to be a solid one. I had got past them to a friend a while ago. I think I'd even mentioned it here. They didn't get around to it. No hard feelings. We aren't seeing each other regularly, but it's not because of that. It's just because we both got lives. Funny how that works. That friend is actually doing gigs in Netherlands and all over Europe these days, so good for them, I guess. Glad to hear it, actually. Because that means when they have to renew their visa, they are not an EU citizen. They'll have grounds to do so, which means they get to stay. Yeah, funnily enough, yesterday I'd driven here, but I only left home at about 3 p.m. Then again, I only got home about 5 a.m. Because I spent quite some time at the office the night before facilitating this here and notes for people to sign that I've been there. Making sure I know where my appointments are when, etc. I horrendously failed at exporting CSV into iCal and then importing the iCal onto the phone. Due to the important part, I did manage to create iCal, but I did manage to import it. So I thought I was tech savvy, but I guess I'm not that tech savvy. Tech brings me to, I guess, the news. Yesterday night was WWDC, the Worldwide Developer Conference by Apple. I watched it to fall asleep a few hours after it was broadcast. And it's kind of surprising how little change. I mean, AI this, AI that, you know. Not too fussed about it. Well, guess that's a part of me I'm grown apart from. Funny how we develop over time. That's another benefit of me doing this here therapy project, is I'll have a backlog of how I was in the past. Or how I will have been in the past, because it's the present. For you, it's already the past. For anyone but me saying it, this is already the past. For me watching this back, it's already the past. One thing I do want to get sorted, because I'm saying it now because I don't know when I'll next do one of these, if that is. I probably do want to get to 200 before I stop the series, so I'll likely do it again, but I don't know when. Before the end of the year, I do want to spend money on buying myself a suit. Just because, you know, got nice occasions every now and then, and have a nice suit, tailored suit. It's going to be a nice one, you know. Because, yeah, I like these shirts for work. You can see more here, haha. They're good work shirts. They're professional manual labouring shirts, so they don't look like office, but they also don't look like, oh yeah, I need PPE all the time. They have no reflective stripes or nothing, you know, so. Interesting enough, PPE, personal protective equipment, is abbreviated as public service announcement in Germany. Well, PSA. Persönliche Schutzausrüstung. Funny how that works, you know. What do I got PPE wise here? I got big reflective jacket in the front, reflective vest in the front, reflective vest in the back, gloves in the back, ear muffs in the back, hard hat in the back, S5 safety boots, and I am wearing S3 safety shoes, which also fulfill the norm for ESD, because there is safety shoes according to to electrostatic discharge norm, and there is electrostatic discharge shoes according to the safety shoe norm. I went with the electrostatic discharge norm just because, fuck, why not, you know? If one tests appliances in a lab or so, they don't want to risk you being able to short something out or static shock something. So these should be between 100 kiloohms and 1 mega ohm of resistance in the sole, or conductance, depending on how you want to see it. It's a resistance, but it's also a conductance because it's not great at 299 mega ohms, infinite mega ohms resistance, which means it is conductive, though slowly, so you don't just pass on static shock. Funny how that works, you know. Other news, I don't think I've mentioned this. I can't have, because I only got the news after I'd done the last therapy. I'm now a fully qualified electrician PAT tester. I'm allowed to do this by myself legally and all, which is why I can be on the road, you know. Yeah. I am fully qualified. Elektrofachkraft. Für festgelegte Tätigkeiten. Elektroprüfen. Yeah. Proper electrician for testing appliances. Beforehand, I was just electrically knowledgeable person, so I was allowed to do under supervision, but now I'm allowed to do by myself, which is quite something. I mean, I've had this job just over half a year, and I managed to get the next qualification before I had it for half a year, you know. And the engineer who'd done the qualification, I'd worked with him in the past, and I suppose I asked enough questions that they didn't feel they had to ask me many. I still answered all the ones they did to more than their satisfaction, of course, because, you know, good standards. I mean, come on. Which is why I'm qualified. Feel good. Feel worth more, feel a bigger accomplishment than getting that bachelor's of film. Then again, the bachelor's of film on my CV show I'd done the same shit for 3.5 years. Whereas this qualification show I've had this job for more than half a year. This qualification still mean more to me today than the bachelor's in film do. Funny how that works, you know. Then again, without the bachelor's in film, I wouldn't have this job. The world works in mysterious ways. And the only things that matter in the world and in life is what we believe matter to us. Because that's another thing. I mean, this is getting a bit trippy now, but I thought a lot about it in recent times, so I might as well talk about it. We all live in a united world, but no two people see the same world. And no person sees the real world. We all only have our interpretations of it. For all I know, outside of my auditory reach and visual reach, this could all be a simulation. And even if two people see the same thing, they may see it differently. Which is crazy if you think of it, because in the end of the day, that means a lot of things come down to interpretation and opinion. But I truly believe it. I mean, hell, for me, this is a long beard and a stash. I mean, the stash getting in my mouth says objectively long, but still, that is an objective in my subjective interpretation of reality. Someone else might say, oh, it's not on the floor, you aren't sweeping the floor if it's not that long, you know. And they'd be right just as much as I would. Then again, it's my bid, so the only opinion that matters is my own. Funny how that works. I actually did all of the packing besides my work stuff for this trip within a time window of 2 hours, which is impressive. In the past, I haven't managed packing stuff that effectively. I will have a couple of things in the fridge that'll be spoilt by the time I get back, but nothing that'll smell the place up or so. I even turned off my water. I ain't forgot a single thing that I know of at this time. Pretty solid, you know. Could get used to this. I mean, it's work holiday. One thing that's a bit odd is when I'm checking into hotels, I got can't see him, but I got a set of wheels. I got Euro norm boxes on, so this type of box, and double sized to this, so ones that I can lift with one hand and ones that I need both hands for. I got a big pile of them, footprint of a double wide one, so 2 beer crates next to one another for standards, because they are the same, because they're all based on pallets, because that's the great thing about standards. And I'm lugging this huge lump on wheels with me, and I got a backpack on my back when I check into hotels. But that also means that once I get into the hotel, I don't have to go back to the car. The company pay for all expenses and for my mileage and all. Still, yesterday when I got to the hotel, I saw there was parking for $6 right in front of the front door, but within very close walking distance, within shouting distance, you can toss a stick that far, you know. There was a car park that was free after 8 p.m. and before 9 a.m. I arrived after 8 p.m. and I left before 9 a.m. So I just went there, because at the end of the day, what's the point of spending money? Well, I guess it's good for the economy, but for me it's irrelevant, but for the company it's no good. So might as well not spend the money, you know. Because was a stick toss away, stone toss, rock toss, whatever you might want to call it. First thing I done once I got into my room proper is figure out how to override the AC, because they got these mini splits with a controller on the wall. Of course I want the room climate to be as chill as possible, because, you know, I'm cool like that, or I'm hot like that, and I want it cool to equalise everything. I don't know, whichever one suits you more, suits me more, I don't know. But first thing I done was that, and I had a nice chill room of 19 degrees centigrade all night. Not too great for the environment, not too great for the hotel's economics. I'm sure they still made a profit. And for the environment, I mean, yeah, it's not great, but it's not like I'm going to make a difference. Then again, that is the same stance I share on voting, yet I do vote. So, double standard. Just like the testing I do is also double standard. There's a German norm and a European norm, and they are not the same, though they contain practically the same things. I test according to DIN-N, so German Institute for Norms, and European norm 50699, but also DIN VDE, DIN VDE, which is German Institute for Norms, and Union of Electricians and Electronists 0702. There's 2 norms. There's double standard. It's kind of fun, you know, messing with language. Language is something fantastic. I mean, if you think of it, it's quite the achievement for humankind to have languages. And there's so many. I mean, I'm mostly fluent in 2 of them and proficient in a third, which is fluent in Palatinate German. In English, I'd claim to be fluid, and sufficient in proper German. So, you know, call it 2 languages, because most people call Palatinate German only a dialect, though it is a full language. And I need to get some blood flow going. No, actually, no, I'm mic'd up so I can actually move. Ooh, I ain't feeling my leg. I can tell you that. My leg is not there, my left leg. Ooh, hello. The car is doing good. I am going to have to bring it in for proper service later in the year. And I'm going to have to do a bit of touch-up work every now and then, because the other day, Saturday was, so 3 days ago, I went and had it cleaned proper, drive-through car wash, you know, and I noticed a small speck of rust on my driver's side back door. It's very surface rust and it's very minor, but I still don't like it. And I got everything I need to touch it up at home, so I might as well, you know. Because if I don't, it's going to spread. And that's no good. I mean, come on, I like this car. I'd like to keep it for more than a decade to come. Though it won't suffice as primary vehicle for a decade to come, considering the mileage I do for work and its uneconomicness as a car. Fuel mileage is about, 9 litres per 100 kilometres. Long distance, 8.5 in cities. And with that, I end up at about 0 for the mileage I get from work. And if I were to get a more efficient car, I'd actually make money while driving, you know. Which I wouldn't complain about, and my boss wouldn't complain about either, because for them it's the same expense. And I am quite a way away from being able to afford another vehicle, but I reckon by the end of next year, I should be able to comfortably afford an okay, good vehicle with not too bad a mileage and good efficiency. So, you know, might as well. Assuming I'll manage that then. Got to get my priorities straight for that. Whew. Oddly enough, the plodder stopped next bay over in the sticks, but they haven't pulled out yet, or at least I haven't seen them go past. Which means they might just be on their lunch break. With work, the company paid for all the components. Well, for all the components I handed the bills in for, because there's quite a lot of components I just had lying around. But I figured out my own testing trolley, which is still work in progress. It will be for quite a while. But also based off these Euronorm crates. So that's pretty nice, because I can just lift the lid off and start testing. Whereas with the standard company ones, you have to assemble it first. Main difference though, if one consider my time a resource which is worth money, which is now that I have a job. As a student it weren't, but now it is. My testing trolley, once done, will be costing more than 2 orders of magnitude more than the standard one. Which is a lot of money. Then again, for the companies, my time don't cost nothing because I'm doing it in my free time, because it's for my own benefit. Company trolley is perfectly sufficient. I just wanted to be special, you know, because I'm special. Funny how that works. I had considered doing a video of driving diary of just all the things that go wrong with driving for this trip. And I haven't fully killed the idea yet. But I don't think I'll do it because I don't want to be doing the post-production. For this here, I don't do post-production, as you might have noticed. So I reckon this will be uploaded tonight in the hotel, assuming I manage to figure out the Wi-Fi. Originally, my boss was going to be in the same hotel as me tonight, but they've shifted their appointments around, so they'll be there in a few weeks' time or so. Would have been fun to meet up with the boss outside of our regular environment, just because why not, you know? But oh well, that's just the way it is. I reckon I'll be doing a lot of tea drinking these coming weeks, just because I have times like this. I have a total of a 3-hour time window to kill, and there's not enough to go anywhere or do anything. But one have got to do something to kill the time, you know. One might as well do something productive. I mean, later on today I might go for a walk between the next 2 appointments. We'll see, because I think I'll have another 3-hour window then. But it's just enjoying life while on payroll. Nah, I'm not complaining. Another segment I haven't done before, but now I might as well. This is not financial advice. Spend money at your own risk, invest at your own risk. But I've been trying to figure out just basics of stocks and so on. I know it's stocks, it's just fun. Just putting a little money aside in some ETFs, exchange traded funds, and some stocks every now and then. Stocks only when I see they are very cheap, and I suppose they will recover. But oddly enough, within the past few months, I made like $50 or so, just with Donald crashing the American economy time and time again. Funny how that works, you know. I mean, for me, it was obvious Apple was going to recover, for example. So I bought a couple of stocks of Apple. I've already sold one. I made $30 on that by itself. No, I'm not complaining. Not financial advice. And also, it's just a good way of putting money aside for me, because if it's in the account and it's in the figures I can spend, my brain's going to say, ooh, you got money to spend. It's burning holes in my pockets, you know. And this way it don't, because it's not on my statements. It's on a different statement. I've thought about another thing, not financial advice segment end, which is what do I want to do in the mid-term to long-term. I mean, I'm going to keep this job for the remainder of the decade at least. I'm fairly confident in that. Because a good job, pay is good, and particularly the boss is fucking amazing, which I believe is very hard to get. We are currently hiring. Don't contact me, don't reach out to me for jobs, but still, we are currently hiring. We will always be hiring by the looks of it, but still. But longer term, I might want to build something up on my own. And I don't think it'd be the same industry sector as this, just because I got a good job employed doing this. I don't need to do it self-employed or start my own company, because I already am working for a company. I'm perfectly happy with that as is, because the amount of hassle it saved me being employed is worth leaving some money on the table to pay for payroll, boss, accountant, whatever, because otherwise I'd just have to pay that myself, but also manage it myself. This way I don't got to manage it. It's all the boss's problem, which is a fucking amazing concept. I guess that's the concept of employment still. Longer term, I do think I'd want to start a limited company of my own, and I am still wondering what I want to do. I am as very distant, mid to long term thinking, but still, there is currently 2 options on the table. One it be consulting and the other be bespoke manufacturing. Consulting because I have a good understanding of technical subject matters. I am qualified in several now. Fucking amazing, you know. And I can consult and pay well. And the other, which would be more of a passion thing, but then again, it wouldn't be work, it'd be fun while being paid, same as this job. Which would be making bespoke fine goods. One thing I've had in the back of my mind for a long time, particularly because there's a show and tell format, so I might as well show and tell. I haven't found any I quite like to buy. Yes, you can get bespoke ones made, but they tend to be too small. I like fancy umbrellas. This is like 1.50 meters in diameter. As you can tell by it covering significant chunks of my body, there we go, in size. This is just a cheap €30 one from a shop when I needed one because it started raining. And I didn't own any, so I bought it. Sorry for the road noise. If I'm outside, it should be worse. But I've had a thing in the back of my mind for a long time that I want to make my own umbrella just for my own purpose. But realistically, if I make it for my own purpose, it's not going to be justifiable with the developmental costs it'll have, because it'll be minimum 4 digits, if not 5, to develop my own umbrella. But if I then make very few, very fancy units, I can sell those for 4 digits and end up 0 or maybe even in profit, you know. Because I'll, of course, also be putting in a lot of my time beside those 4 to 5 digits. And apparently in this society, people are willing to pay for one's time and not having to do it themselves. I'm going to blow my nose, so if you don't want to hear it, listen away until you see my flat hand. There we go. Low editing. Yeah, but with the umbrella idea, one can do several things in that kind of fashion. I've thought about quite some. And the end of the day, it's just because I like doing things. I like figuring out things. And yes, there is well-established ones at work. Like this €30 one I got. At work, there's some ideas about it I don't like, and I don't like the materials it's made of. Another thing is, hey, being autistic, one is limited to very little cutlery. Just because weird shapes don't work out. Apparently that's a thing many autistics share. I don't know what others share, but according to social media, others share. So, you know. That is another branch one could go with autistic-friendly cutlery, etc. Which would be a different kind of thing, and probably would want a different limited company than for the developmental stuff, because you can't sell one thing for a tenner and another thing you want a couple of grand for. That sounds a bit funny. But, you know, can always do a garden hose to three-phase power adapter. Apparently people would buy those, I've heard. I might be one of those people who would buy something like that if they couldn't build it themselves. And the funny thing is, it would actually be compliant and legal. It wouldn't work, but, you know, it would be legal. Assuming the garden hose don't have any openings, and you have a female socket for the three-phase power instead of a male one, because if you have a male one, it could be dangerous. Then you've got to really make sure nothing can get in it. But if you've got a female, nothing can happen. That'd be really funny. There is a whole shop for that. It's only a joke shop, sadly. You can't buy anything besides, I believe, shirts on it. That's called Ethyl Tuning. It's commonly referred to in various subreddits I'm in. Funny how that works, you know. Another thing is my hair have been growing quite majestically. Reach more than half the way down my back these days, assuming one figure one's back end at one's hips. Then again, below one's hips one have a back end too. Oh, language is fun. My rear end. No one think about the spine if you say rear end. They think about the lower spine's end. Language is fun. Besides keeping this job for the remainder of the decade, I'm also fairly confident I'm not moving house for the remainder of the decade. Which is why I was willing to put mid-3 figures into just getting a kitchen sorted. And I might well do the same in months to come for other areas of the flat. Because I'm staying there mid-term. I wouldn't call it long-term because it's not decades, but it's years. So it's mid-term. Assuming one's residence, you know. Short-term would be months, maybe weeks. I might as well have it comfortable. I mean, in the past, I didn't have no cash flow because I was a poor student. Now I've got positive cash flow because I got a job. I got a job. I'm generating revenue, and I am generating more than I cost, so that's good as well, because as an employee, one would always want to be profitable, because otherwise the company's going down the drain, you know. And then one don't have a job no more. Time for another brew. That's one thing I'm particularly fond of with this Kioso, is all that the cooling jugs can hold, that one pour the tea in once it's brewed, all that fit in the Kioso, so I don't got to worry about it. I can just fill the Kioso to the brim, and it'll still fit anywhere, which is... Kioso is a specific kind of teapot. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned before, but I might as well mention again. By the way, if you're still hanging around, it's been almost an hour, so would be surprising if you were, but thank you very much. It truly means the world to me. You know, it's just me faffing about, drinking tea, smoking. Yeah, I got a lot of PPE in here. And a lot of other things too. Funny how that works. I mean, for example, one thing is pat testing cheat sheets, which only work within the company. Because with these Fluke appliance testers, you can set up auto codes yourself. You can say, if I put in a 555, please do this sequence and test this, this, and this. And in the company, we have company-wide standards, which we have cheat sheets for. I actually haven't used my cheat sheets in a long time because I just don't need them, which is a good place to be at. Admittedly, I did teach several colleagues an abbreviation that never existed because I believed it existed, so I had no reason to not teach it. And the boss hadn't mentioned it didn't exist, even though I'd used it on several counts in the past. Because the actual analysis is a lot of the time done during non-regular business hours, which means the boss don't actually call up if something don't work out. Good news is we've sorted that, and in the future they will comment that more rapidly to me, so I don't misconvey. And I've corrected myself toward all other testers, so they know I misinformed them, and they now know the right way of proceeding. I guess that's a bit crazy. I've had this job for half a year, and I've trained at least one guy. Well, onboarded. I didn't do their qualification, I didn't do their proper training, but in the field training. That's something I can be proud of, I guess. Funny how that worked. Yeah, anyways, I'm still going to be drinking tea, but I have not much to say. And my storage is running out on the phone soon enough, because this is actually recording in ProRes, just because I figured I might as well change it up. I got this AliExpress monitor that's on the back of the phone. It just mirrors the display. It's not even touch, but you know, that way I can look at my face. Just to up production quality a bit, because if I'm doing these once in a blue moon, I might as well do them proper. I'm not doing post, but at least I can proper record, you know. I mean, you can see the tree leaves, they aren't blown out. Neither is my shirt here, which is black in the dark in the shade, which is pretty nice. Yeah, anyways, thank you very much for sticking around. Hoping the day will go smoothly. I hope your day will go smoothly. I'll see you around. Cheerio.